Don't get me wrong, I'm a software engineer and I love my job regardless, right? But these are things that I did not know when I was coming into this field. Well, I knew some already because I had written some code and I had experience with some of them. But there are some of them that I didn't think were a thing until I came into the field, and I'm experiencing them now, and I'm learning by the day. I'm learning to adjust. And this video is just to prepare your mind so that you know, right? And yeah, let's get right into the video. Hello, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Adora, and if this is your first time here, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. If you like this video when you watch it, please make sure that you like it and leave a comment if there's anything that jumps at you while watching this video. Please, it's important to like and subscribe, because what this helps YouTube know is that you people like this video, and it would make my channel grow because YouTube would recommend this video to more people. More people would get to watch it, and also because more people watch it, the channel grows. If the channel grows, I'm motivated to post more videos and I'm happy, and so everybody wins. So please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Okay, so to the main thing of the day. Let me cross my leg. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be talking about being a software engineer, the bad sides, why you should not be a software engineer. We all know about like nice things. People tell us, oh, software engineering is amazing, the demand is high, you get to build amazing products for people all around the world and blah blah blah. There's some things they don't tell you, yeah? And in this video I'm going to be telling you these things that you should bear in mind if you're going to be a software engineer. Don't get me wrong, I'm a software engineer and I love my job regardless, right? But these are things that I did not know when I was coming into this field. Well, I knew some already because I had written some code and I had experience with some of them. But there are some of them that I didn't think were a thing until I came into the field, and I'm experiencing them now, and I'm learning by the day. I'm learning to adjust. And this video is just to prepare your mind so that you know, right? And yeah, let's get right into the video. Software engineering is not roses everywhere. It's not a romantic comedy movie. Oh. It's not all kumbayas and rainbows though. Software engineering has some challenges as well. So yes, if you can't handle these challenges, don't be a software engineer until you get the thick skin to learn and handle these challenges. I mean, people that are currently handling it are human beings like you, right? They've just learned to adjust. So what I'm saying is you might need to adjust to some certain things to be able to handle some of these things. I mean, it's totally fine, right? Anybody can do anything through Christ who strengthens them. So you can't do anything, you can do all things through Christ, but you just need to prepare your mind and know, and that's what this video is about. The first thing is debugging. As a software engineer, somebody is going to check in bug, whether it's you, whether it's somebody else, and that bug might not have a ripple effect immediately. It might just be even a small effect, like maybe it's causing a test to pass intermittently. So when somebody that wrote the bug, the test passed, but the day you now was checking your own code, you didn't edit that part of the code though, but just because the state of the world has changed in your build, the test will fail, and then you have to debug what exactly is the problem. Why is this test failing? I mean, there's one thing to debug your code, right? That could also be a pain because you could spend hours, you know, trying to figure out this bug that is causing kasala here and there and everything. There's one thing to debug your code, and there's one thing to debug somebody else's code that you did not write. I believe that is even the more painful thing. It's scarier, and at some point your career is going to happen, you know. So this is just me telling you to prepare your mind about debugging. And debugging is an art of like figuring out the issues, or rather trying to fish out bad code or code that is causing the system not to behave how it's supposed to behave, figuring out what is bad code, fishing it out, and then possibly switching it to the good code, right? So that's it. Basically, in layman terms, you're gonna do that. For code that you wrote and for code that you didn't write. For code that you wrote, at least you have context. You know that, okay, I did this thing. So this thing I did was a mistake. Hey, yeah, is my suffering. Code that you did not write is just dropped on you, because of condition or something, or a task that was even assigned, or that build failed and then you had to go check out, you know, what failed. See, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. I'm just preparing your mind for that. The next thing I want to say is being on call. So let me just tell you something here. When you're building cloud applications, when you're building services that a lot of people use, when you're building for people generally, right? You're either building for developers or you're building for a large customer base. Once in a while, something can happen. It might be as a result of code. It might be as a result of infrastructure. It might be as a result of storage. Anything could just cause something to happen, you know? And when that thing happens, just pray you're not the one on call during that time. Because if you are, what's gonna happen is that regardless of what you're doing, you're going to leave what you're doing and you're going to figure out what that problem is and fix it for that person that has the issue that caused that incident to get raised. I'm going to find a way to figure that out. And I'm sure they did not tell you. It's not even in the job description. If you go and look at any software engineering job, I've not seen it before. If you look at any software engineering job description, I don't think I've ever seen being on call before. And it's not something they teach you in schools. I don't think it's things that get mentioned in boot camp. So you don't know until you enter it. So this is just me telling you, preparing your mind that at some points they're going to be on call rotations and you would get to be on call. And if the system doesn't work when you are on call, you have to, your job is to get it set up to make sure that it comes back up and it works, to fix the problem that, you know, came on and blah 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 blah. Also, being on call, you don't even want to know the engineers that are usually on call on holidays like Christmas, you know, for Nigerians, Independence Day, for Nigerians as well, Salah, for Americans, Thanksgiving, important holidays when people are supposed to be with their families. Imagine Instagram not working on Christmas Day when people are supposed to be posting Merry Christmas. Imagine Instagram. I just picture the engineer that is on call trying to fix that, or the team that has to worry about that. You know, imagine like you not being able to, in this corona period now, you not being able to video call your friends because the app that you're using is down, and engineers have to figure out a way to make it work, because by the minute money is missing, money is being lost. So you don't want to be on call, I promise you. But you're going to have to be on call at some point in your career, so may the force be with you. There's also a chance of making an expensive billion-dollar mistake, but that one hasn't happened to me before though. So said mistake might not be $1 million like I'm saying, no. It might not be $1 billion like I'm saying, no. It might be million naira or even 100,000, depending on the scale of your company and whatever they are worth. And like, the point is, you might make an expensive mistake that has a significant change on things and the stakes might be high. Just pray they don't sack you. But like, I heard something, I don't remember if I can find that article or something, about a guy that made the company owe AWS, I think up to 70k or something. I call these little mistakes, you know, like just starting something and leaving it on, and the thing will just be, you know, gathering money for you, and your mind would actually go there that, okay, this is a thing. Wow, I actually created these resources and I don't use them, I should delete them. And then you're just reckoning unnecessary costs that could be avoided. Or some other mistake, it could even be that is a bug that caused the whole app to be on a standstill, and around the time when a lot of customers actually use, you know, your service or your app, whatever, the app was down. So paying customers that maybe for the app was down for 1 hour, and imagine if every minute you get at least $100. So in 1 hour, just calculate how much you've lost. You get, so something like that. Another thing is security problems when you are trying to design the applications. Now, I'm not talking visual design. I'm talking like the architecture of maybe a component in a service you're trying to build, or the service itself. Security problems. There are bad people in this world. People that are just out to find a way to break your service, either just because they can to prove a point, or just so that they could hack into stuff and get money, or trick people, or like, do you get, like, so that's something that might happen at some point depending on the kind of engineer that you are. And I think it happens to everybody, because front-end mistakes could also lead to these things. Back-end not being as good as it should be could also lead to these things, you know. So depending on what it is that you're doing, you should also bear in mind that security is a thing in this industry. There are wicked people everywhere. You'll be shocked, and you don't want to be the scapegoat. So always have that at the back of your mind, so that Kasala does not mistakenly bust, something bad doesn't mistakenly happen, you know. Product managers will stress you. They are gonna stress your life. All this how far product managers, every 5 minutes they're buzzing you on Slack. How far? I see a lot of people complaining on Twitter every day about these things, and I know it's a struggle. Do you get what I mean? Every time somebody will be buzzing you, how far? This thing you said you worked on, that you said you will finish this sprint, is 1 day to the end of the sprint, and you still have 3 tasks left. What's the problem? What's the problem? It's 2 days to the end of the sprint, 3 days to the end of the sprint. You said you finish this thing by the end of the sprint, right? And you still have 6 tasks left. What's the problem? Why have you done only 1 thing? How far? How far? The customer is waiting. The client is waiting. And yes, because they have to, because they're the ones that, you know, have these conversations with the clients, and you don't want to disappoint your customers. So there's always pressure from the customers on them, and then they come back and they put the pressure on you. But I'm saying last the pressure will shall be on you. So you have to look for a way to deal with it and handle it. To deal with it and handle it for sure. If you're a front-end engineer, you're going to have this issue. You might work with over-ambitious product designers, and if you do, I apologize to you. I pray for you, because man, it's going to be a lot, you know. Being a front-end engineer, at least just trying to make sure things happen, make sure this site actually works, you know, like a bunch of things people think about, maybe accessibility, speed of the site. The one designer will come and tell you that they want animation that is doing like this, it's like mommy water on the page. And we're like, excuse me, please come, just come here. Product designers will frustrate you for sure. I used to work in advertising at some point in my life, and I was like a full stack developer there. So I was doing some front-end stuff, I would do some back-end stuff, and I was building Android apps as well. I was a superhero there. But I was doing mostly front-end because of the nature of the job. It was advertising, so most of all these clients, they want visual things, they want, you know, things that can make customers buy, things that would help ease their marketing, all of that. So I was in an advertising agency. So like, ambitious designers are in creative agencies, I promise you. So like, regardless of wherever you are, actually, you will still get really ambitious designers that want, you know, designs. Like, I feel for you. That's all I'm going to say at this point. The next thing also goes to front-end developers. It might be back-end developers that work in your company, or it might be an external service that you people use. Just imagine if the API design is terrible. Just imagine if the API design is terrible and documentation doesn't actually tally with the responses you get or the requests that you send. Like imagine documentation says send user ID, send this thing token in your header, send user gender, and then when you send it, the API is asking you for user's maiden name. Like user's maiden name is not available, so this thing is not going to work. Or you just get a random like 403, or maybe even the endpoint is not correct, you get a 404, or like something weird that just happens because somebody did not just either document the API well or write the APIs properly. So as a front-end engineer, as an Android engineer, as someone that's shy regardless, mobile engineer, whatever, as someone that is going to be interfacing with like back-end APIs, you might have to deal with this at some point as well, and it could get really annoying real quick. Don't forget to leave a comment if there's anything that I mentioned that you can relate to. As I've talked about debugging, if you've had debugging problems, leave it in the comments, let's chat. If you've made one mistake before that actually cost your company a lot, and I would also like to know if you've made a mistake in the past and it cost your company a lot, did it affect maybe your bonus? Did it affect your promotion? Did you get fired? I'd really like to know, because I've never been in this scenario before, but it's something that I feel like if we can share, people all around can actually benefit, you know, from it. I'm sure that a lot of people will be able to relate to the product managers being annoying. If you can relate, please leave a comment. If you can relate to product designers just being overly ambitious and stressing you, leave a comment. If possible, tag them, let's see them. Yes, tag them, want to know them. Yes. If you are willing to talk about bad APIs that you've experienced in the past that has actually made your job frustrating, please leave this comment as well. Let's chat about all of these things. And if you've had like any security problems, maybe any small thing in your service, in your app that you overlooked and somehow became like a big deal because one wicked person or one smart person decided that he was going to use that as an entry point to break your system, please leave it in the comments. Let's chat about it. I'm saying this because when people come to this video, I want them to see all these things in the comments so that they can also learn from it. Let's have conversations about these things, because people only tend to talk about the good parts of software engineering, but they don't say as much of these things to newbies. And I feel like we should start having these conversations. I'm never going to get tired of asking questions at my job. Even if I'm never going to get tired of asking questions. I don't think I would ever get tired of asking questions, because when you don't know something and you ask and you finally know the thing, you finally learn something. And anybody that laughs at you for not knowing something will be okay. That's their business. Do you get? So always ask questions. Don't feel discouraged. We're all in this together. Peace and love. So yeah, I've talked about debugging, I've talked about being on call, I've talked about security, I've talked about having overzealous, like having product managers that annoy you. I've talked about having over ambitious product designers. I've talked about having APIs that are not designed properly that give you headache. And I've talked about making really expensive, you know, $1 billion, $1 million mistakes. These are real things that software engineers go through. So I'm putting this out there in case you don't know, because the truth is, in different fields, they go through their different things as well. You don't want to be a finance person, let one naira not be missing. You don't want to be a medical doctor and mistakenly you are performing a surgery and then you mistakenly leave something inside somebody's stomach. Maybe like a woman is pregnant and she has to go give birth, and then she has to, like, you know, do CS to get the baby out, and then you finish cutting her open and removing the baby and you mistakenly leave one thing inside her stomach. They'll sue you. So like different things in different fields. So the fact that I'm saying this doesn't mean you should feel pressured. I'm just trying to prepare your mind for some of the things. I'm saying this over and over and over again so that you know. I'm just trying to prepare your mind for some of the things that software engineers go through a lot. Regardless, I am a software engineer. and I love my job, and I know a bunch of people that love their jobs as well. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. If you liked it, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Yeah, give it a thumbs up. Yeah, if you're not subscribed to me, please make sure that you subscribe. In fact, I will kneel down, I will beg you, please subscribe. Help my markets, let's grow the channel. Yeah. If you're not subscribed to me, please make sure that you subscribe. If you liked this video, or you liked anything I said, or anything I said in this video you can actually relate to because you're a software engineer that goes through this, or you are someone that is a newbie but you've heard about some of these things, please make sure that you like this video. Leave a comment. Yes, please remember, after all these things that I've mentioned, leave, if you are someone that has experienced one of them, or you've heard about one of them, or you are currently experiencing one of them, leave a comment. Let me know the one you're experiencing. Let's have a talk. I've experienced about 60% of the things that I mentioned, and I can have these heart-to-heart conversations with you. So let's have that. Yeah, thank you again for watching this video till the end, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.